First of all, challenge like this, I was really excited. It's right up my street. 3 days in the countryside, trying to get some good pictures down. The thing that stood out for me was, the panorama function. I shoot a lot of panoramas myself in my own work, and it relies on shooting, a dozen or more frames and stitching them together. So having, a single device where I can take a big swoop and get a full 180 in one frame is something I'd keep. The key thing when, aspiring to be a photographer is the love of your subject matter or the love of imagery.
I'm looking at this and thinking, I'd like, if possible, to have the moat framed up naturally by the green landscape around it, with the sun over our shoulder.
What was really great about Leeds Castle was having the opportunity to go up in a hot air balloon and really change the lay of the land and the foreground perspective.
So this is awesome.
The shot I ended up composing was having the castle on the right of frame and having this real contrast in the form of this, three-lane concrete motorway just off to the left. If you can be quite persistent and resilient and stick the worst conditions through, it's often the best conditions or the most exciting light that happens straight afterwards. I took a wander around the field, trying to find a good left marker and a good right marker. And there was also this really nice trail the tractor had left, which added this nice foreground detail and also a lead into the background. When you approach London as a photographer, you're almost overwhelmed with choices of locations. Heading up Tower 42, I was really after that unique vantage point. I was told the camera had this X-R low light sensor. There's this sweet spot where the ambient light and the artificial light come into balance. And I was really impressed with how the sensor pulled out the detail, even in those conditions. One of the first locations I put into the mix was these incredible sea forts off the coast of Whitstable. I'd known about these for a few years, but never quite had the right excuse or reason to get out there in a boat and photograph them. Halfway there, we suddenly find ourselves kind of chugging right through this offshore wind farm. And again, these amazing conditions where the turbines are reflected and there isn't a wave out there apart from the one we're casting behind the boat. 12 megapixels is a lot of detail to pack into a phone, and that's double the type of SLR that I remember shooting with only 5 or 6 years ago. We're chugging through this kind of Bermuda Triangle fog, and then suddenly these H.G. Wells, War of the Worlds structures start to resolve and the details come clear. The wash of the boat hit this buoy and this bell went off and the seagulls are screeching. And then this kind of mild panic set in, I've got the ultimate location, I'm out there in the boat, and then the pressure's on to get the shot. My favourite photo of the day was starting off with the left of frame and the focal point on this yellow buoy, moving through a kind of nice arrangement of the sea forts. They're kind of scattered around, looking almost random. And then there's this eerie container ship kind of peering out of the mist, and then the picture fades into this brilliant whiteout of the sun.
The photo's just great. I mean, lighting, sea conditions, location, it's all there. And as a panorama, it really works because you get close and just feel the scene. That's why I'm smiling. I think that's going to be the best panoramic photo of the bunch. Certainly, the light, the conditions, the texture of the forts, everything all came together in one go.